He said it was going to be easy. Just walked out of the liquor store, past the bar, got water, soda, and beer. I did this last year for like a whole week. A whole week, man. And then I relapsed. I relapsed hard. This is just a full 24-hour thing, though. So I don't know if you're supposed to count it from like the time you stopped drinking the night before, or the time you woke up this morning. So I'm just counting it from this morning. So that gives me 16 and a half hours now. I think that's good maths or something. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 12 hours, and 9, 10, 11, 15. Okay, 15 and a half hours now. So, anticipate trouble sleeping. It's alright, I have that anyway. It's gonna be a little fucking troublier tonight. Wait till we get inside to show you my new friend. Okay. So yeah, I guess I decided, so as I said, February, March, April, 3 months. The anniversary for my self-love commitment or whatever that's supposed to be, and it's Mother's Day, and my mom's probably going to be at work most of the day, but say, about anything more than just for doing it for myself, which is the first priority, at least be 24 hours or more sober for my mom for Mother's Day, because she's been concerned about it a lot. Like, you're one of the most concerned people. Of course, she's very concerned about pretty much everything, but in terms of stuff that I've been dealing with, seems to be very important to her. So at least I got one night at home. I got a few chores done. Watch some videos on the trash box Wi-Fi. Share some moments with y'all. Oh gosh. And didn't sleep so soundly. What is that? Woke up at like 6 o'clock this morning, and I had a hell of a time trying to go back to sleep. Pretty much ended up, I was laying there and I was literally saying to myself, I'm not legally awake right now. Legally, I'm still asleep. I don't know why that just sounded appealing to me. As a matter of law, I'm not technically awake, not accountable for anything that happens. But I was mostly conscious. I think I rolled in and out of a drink for a minute, and it was short-lived. spine. How you doing? Yeah, it's warm in here. Yeah, the neighbor, I like to call him Dennis the Menace. Fucking guy. Seems alright. It's a little off, but he was trying to run some shady shit on my mom, and I found him out. He heard me call him an asshole from next door, so he don't like me no more. He thought I was a nice guy until the next morning. Till the next morning, but I was like, that guy's a fucking asshole. I'm gonna go off camera quick while I take my jacket off. Oh, wait, you weren't supposed to see that yet. Oh, shit. All right, hold on. Let's turn the camera around. I got to turn on my leather either. Take my shirt off. Usually I just slap my leather on over it. Not today. Probably have another jacket over there. I just can't see shit, so I didn't turn the flashlight on. You see, I got cactus cooler. That's the rest of the water. Water. And V8. Those are my drinks. I'm drinking. Alcohol free. Not to fucking dwell on it too much or spaz out. I know it's happening, so just go with it. I want this. The question is what to drink first. It seems like I'll drink the soda. I think the soda is the one that will, carbonation or something. Carbonation and sugar is what, beer has that too or something, I guess. So these are caffeine free. I didn't know that for the longest time. I kept buying them thinking they had caffeine. But these ones do not. Recall. I hope not, because that would make things worse. Doesn't it say somewhere? Well, it's not listed under ingredients, so. Oh yeah, there's this caffeine free. Duh. Decent flavor. So, No backstory. No backstory, but this guy. Hold on, did I already? Oh no, I had. I'm gonna have to add this one. Where's the one I? Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's gotta be it. For my Bay Area fan peeps, no, or anywhere you are in the world, really. I'm gonna show you a character, and just say this fucking guy right here. Got a couple other pictures of him. Maybe will that one do? This guy's a fucking cunt. Let him know. Uh, Let him know Ape says he's a fucking cunt. Or just, let him know he's a cunt. If you see him out and about, say, what's up, you cunt? Fucking asshole. This fucking asshole. He almost caught hands. He's so fucking lucky. I wanted to throw hands, man. Just a fucking shitty fucking human being. This fucking cunt right here. Snapshot it, screenshot it, share it around, take a picture of this fucking cunt right here. Fuck him. That's right. I said what I said. I'm gonna keep showing it too. Cunt. Spread it around. I'm sober, so I may be a little bit edgy. But you know what I ain't? I ain't fucking drunk. I ain't a fucking, afraid to call somebody a cunt when they're being a cunt. At the time, I could not call that person a cunt. They were. I'm gonna show this picture again. Fuck this guy. Fuck you, man. I wonder if there's any weed in this drawer, man. There's a roach. So I did all right on not smoking for a while, but I broke and now I've had far too many cigarettes for the day. That's the downside of this. Actually, I only had one cup of coffee, but I've had several of these. So that's kind of a slip, but no alcohol. You got to replace it with something. I don't know, something. No alcohol, no weed. So, brains breaking. No, it's all right. It's all right. I felt good. I was sharp today. I was sharp. I was fucking, did the thing right. And it's gonna get better every day. I mean, I've been sharp the last couple of days, but today especially just felt really clear. I catch little things that other people miss. That's part of my job, paying attention to detail. And when you're on top of it, it feels good. Feels pretty fucking good. So, I didn't draw out any topics or anything like that. I was all fucking raged out at the end of the night over that fucking cunt. Fucking cunt. So, yeah. No, I'm dead fucking serious. If you see this guy out in public, if you're around the Bay Area or wherever he is, yeah, do it. Just do it. But be careful. He seems like he's a little bit, little squirrely. So be ready for hands. Direct him towards me. I'll throw hands with him. Tell him to catch me outside. Fucking douche can you? I can't really give you a backstory, but just take my word for it. Yeah. Fucking cunt. This fucking guy. I wear my sunglasses at night, so I don't know all the words. I could be a cunt. Oh. Yeah. So one of my coworkers in like a men's baseball league, which like a buddy of mine was playing softball years ago. He kept trying to get me involved, and I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And right now I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. I think I have to spend some money on it, but probably something more productive I could be doing, and out socializing and exercising and practicing is a thing that. I mean, I know how to play fucking baseball. My dad was a coach and shit. Well, he still is. But I just never really got into playing. You and so it's like, yeah, it's 35. I could maybe hone that skill a little bit. I mean, got good eyes in spite of my glasses, so great fucking depth perception, which is, of course, one of the main things you need for that sport. Well, any type of fucking ball sport involving, throwing and catching things and hitting things with a stick, yeah. Incoming flying object. See, this is where I feel like I'm supposed to be more tired. I feel like nope, can't do it. Cannot drink alcohol. Drink Cactus Cooler. Oh yeah, so about that meeting. Did not catch the meeting this morning, but I have a good excuse. I, in my haste, did not realize until I went to enter the meeting that I signed up for a meeting for Spanish speakers only. And my Spanish is for shit. So I was like, oops, my bad. Get frustrated and give up? No, deal with it. Go back to the website. So I found 2 more meetings for Sundays and Mondays, my days off, um, that are local groups, and, and English speaking. So I also found a in-person group specifically for kink and fetish recovery. I don't know if that's something I need to recover from. It's down in the city, so it cost me a bit to get out there, but it is within. I could make it hypothetically with my schedule as long as I could afford to commute out there and all that stuff. But I don't really know if that's going to be beneficial for me, especially right now because I'm not even in a fucking relationship or anything. I have no sex life. It's just me, myself, and my hand. Um, but that could change. And I'd be like, well, yeah, I do have a bit of trauma from some of my fetish because of certain experience I've had with my partners. Um, with kink, it's like sometimes you think you want to try something and then you try it and then like it's not really conducive to your thing and then you feel like some guilt or shame for it and you can hold on to that or you know um, the other person might feel resentment towards you for it because there's that too. Something that they tried that they weren't really into, and then they're like, "Well, how you wanted to do it?" And it's like, "Okay, but you consented to do it, and you didn't say no or stop or anything at the time." It's like, later on, way after the fact, you were like, "Well, I've been holding on to this resentment for a long time over that." It's like, okay, that sucks. Yeah, people shouldn't do that, but is that my baggage or yours? I'm not sure. So I don't know. That's an option. It's out there. It's the only in-person group I've found that aligns with my schedule in the area so far. But that's subject to change. There's probably more groups out there. Just have to keep looking, keep looking. But for now, I found one to attend tomorrow and possibly the next day. So that's the goal. That's the name of the game. Keep looking. Keep searching. Have some Cactus Cooler. Oh, right there. The cigarettes. It's been suggested to me that
people who have no real investment in, the outcome of my situation have suggested to me that I might actually make a pretty fucking decent cop. If I can keep my nose clean, maybe they'll take me. Maybe that is something I should pursue at this point in my life. I mean, I've been doing this long enough. People already look at me a certain way in my professional capacity. Why not double down? Got good skills, the right qualifications in the community I'm in, stand to help a lot of people. Maybe that's an option. Maybe it's a better option than correctional officer. I don't know. Certainly going to be a more difficult physical examination training or whatever, I guess. I think I've heard the hardest part of the cop training they have is you have to scale like a 6-foot fence in a single bound or something like that. I don't know, that's what someone was telling me. I don't know if that's exactly accurate. But I mean, pretty sure I could do that. I haven't done it in a while. I'd have to practice, but tastes pretty good. Or then there's that other option where I don't do that. I go into one of these other industries where I could use similar skills for a different purpose. Maybe. Or learn some new skills and go do something else that's also a public service. Because that seems to be where I'm at. If anything, I'm against capitalism and corporatism. And, when I think about working for the man, I think about, working for big corporations and CEOs and shareholders. And, that's what I think. I think those guys are the real oppressors. And, they're the ones that are buying politicians and, forcing legislation through various, it's fucking financial influence. That's what it is. Their political influence has to do with their economic power. And so that's how they do it. And then you got organizations like fucking Walmart that, invest billions and billions in this type of fucking shit. And they're a fucking transparently Christian organization. So, hey, church, state, like in Walmart, finance politicians with their fucking Christian money, just like the churches. Yeah. So something should be done about that. I don't know. So I, feel better doing something. I feel like, it's a public service. It's a service to the community rather than just making money for some fucking billionaire who, to them, you're expendable. I don't know. That seems like a shittier hell to me if I'm going to choose a fucking path to, keep walking down or whatever. It's like right now I'm somewhere in the middle of that. Because, sure, we are a private security firm, and that's kind of the way it works out here. But, the dynamics of our job is to be in, serving the community, serving members, the transit system is, obviously it's taxpayer funded. It's part of the, how that shit works. So it's like, yeah, shitty fucking balance, but gotta do it. Bryce, no, I am not a corrections officer. Right now, I'm a security guard for a private security company, and I've been doing that since 2017. Got licensed in 2016, and but I did take my corrections officer, my initial exam, my physical and my written exam a couple of months ago, and I passed that. So there are a number of steps to be taken after that to be selected as a potential corrections officer, and then you have to actually get a job offer once you've gone through all these steps. And I've been neglecting those steps, and I'm not even sure how long I actually have to complete them before I would have to like retake the test, because I'm sure there's like some point where they're going to be like, oh yeah, now you're just going to have to go back in and retake the test, which I'm pretty confident I could pass again. So that's not a big issue. So, but the question is, do I want to be a corrections officer? I mean, yeah, I'll make more money than where I'm at now. I'll have better benefits, but is it going to be a fulfilling job? Is it going to be a place where I'm learning and growing and still have free time to do the things that I love? And so that's what I'm trying to find a balance for. Because I still want to be able to get out there and play music and do my thing. And at the end of the day, this the cop has to have the dirty job of being the guy who catches them and cuffs them and book them Dano, and then the CO on the other end of that is the guy who's going to receive them into the jail. They're already in whatever situation they're in. You really have no control over it, so y'all are just kind of stuck there together, and you have to try to make the best of it and deal with the ones who are going to be difficult, right? But for the most part, it's just helping them keep their routine, trying to encourage them to do the right things while they're inside so they can get back outside and they don't get in deeper shit than they're already in. And not being a complete prick, because it can be dehumanizing in there, and the monotony of it really from the perspective of the guard is it's similar to what I do now. And you compare it to war, you spend most of your time in there fucking bored following a routine, and then all of a sudden somebody's getting fucking killed and you got to intervene. It's like, so I guess in a relative sense, like any other first responder job, but there's a different dynamic in the relationship there, and your position in that, right? Because I didn't put them there. I'm just there to keep them there and make sure that everybody's safe in there as much as possible, right? Or do I try to? Yeah. So trying to figure all that out, and ultimately, nothing but time on my hands for that. But the longer I procrastinate, well, eventually I'm gonna be physically too old to gain entry. Like like I shouldn't say physically too old. I don't think there's actually an age limit, but as far as what my body's going to tolerate, once you get in there, you don't really have to use all those physical skills as much. You tend to notice that, a lot of seasoned cops and COs tend to start getting a little bit bigger, unless they work really hard to maintain their physique, because it's easy to get, What's up, Sterling? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. And I do apologize for the other night. I mean, again, I don't know if you heard, but it was a great conversation, and I remember much of it, and I was rewatching some of it, but I was a little drunk, just a little drunk. But I'm trying not to drink so much. That's why I want to dry out right now. And I think I can do the normie thing, but I have to make it a habit to make sure that I dry out for a period of time before if that makes any kind of sense. Because right now it's like, thank you, sir. It's a maintenance drinking and daily drinking. So I want to be an everyday drinker. Then you're kind of probably maybe have a drinking problem, I guess, or something. Or like right now where I'm like, oh, I can't go to sleep without it. Oh gosh. And then there's the me who is on, uppers who's gonna be like, who needs sleep? After my dad retired from the Army, before the Army, he was Navy, then a cop. One of his many jobs was a corrections officer. Also, was a security guard, cab driver, machinist, truck driver. Okay, see, arcade owner, self-storage flea market manager. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a hell of a list. It's like I thought I had a hell of a career list, but no, that's quite a list. So one of the things I'm frequently asked is whether I was in the military. I've never been in the military. I had no real interest in joining the military until a few years ago, and always been very anti-military and anti-war. And I see the necessity in having an army. I've objected to, most of the wars we've been in since I've been around. As much as one can be a conscientious objector, or at least I shouldn't say the wars, but particular engagements and things like that, where I'm like, what the hell, is going on around here? Do we really need to be doing this? Yeah, but it's neither here nor there because I'm not, in some position of leadership. And I'm like, now, if I were to enter, any branch of the military going on 35, which I've considered, it's like I'm enlisting with a bunch of freaking, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids who are going to be tougher than me. They're going to have, years ahead of them to burn their bodies out. Right. And then, so there's all that to think about, but it's one option. But I signed up to join the National Guard a while ago, and I had taken my practice ASVAB, and I was supposed to get scheduled to take the real one, and it all seemed good to go. And then all of a sudden, the recruiter stopped calling me back. And I don't know if that's because when I turned 18, I was supposed to sign up for selective service, but I was legally disabled at the time. So I told them, well, hey, I'm legally disabled. And they sent me some letters saying, well, it doesn't matter if you're disabled or not. It's not the draft. Nobody's, some, so you still have to sign up. Then I just kind of ignored that letter and moved, and I never heard from them again. And then when I went to go get federal student aid, they were like, oh, you can't get federal student aid because you didn't sign up for selective service all those years ago. And I was like, okay. So I called them and went through the whole, rigmarole, got selective service to send a letter so that I could get cleared to get student aid, got granted the student aid, enrolled in the local college up there, and then I never signed up for classes. Yeah. Yep, yeah, that's me. So then the next time I went for student aid, the same thing happened. And rather than going through the whole thing and getting the letter again, I just said, fuck it. And I didn't go back to school. So, but I don't know if I can also be denied entry to any branch of the military now because I didn't sign up for selective service back then, which wouldn't make sense to me. But I guess maybe that could be a thing. And that might be why they didn't call me back. I don't know. Because, it seems like the National Guard, or they're always happy to take people whenever they can. They don't give a shit. But oh, your dad hated corrections work in prison. Later, he worked in a small town jail and preferred that, but quit to manage self-storages. That's an interesting shift. I guess it's just the management position, right? Like a storage unit's pretty basic. Lock up your shit, make sure that there's security and what have you, and like, yeah, it's dealing with collections. Well, there's no collections, right? Because you just auction the stuff off if they don't pay, so that's how that works. Then you got to deal with an auctioneer of some kind, which is what happened to my stuff last year. My freaking storage got sold off, which was bollocks. Mostly sentimental stuff, but people are going to find some of the stuff in there and be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I shit you not, they're like boxes full of like some really crazy shit that me and my ex, like letters we wrote to each other and stuff we did while we were freaking spun to the gills. Oh, thank you, Sterling. Yes, I am drying out. I've been drying out over the last couple days, which kind of lets me know. I think as soon as I said that, all of a sudden I got, maybe it's coincidence, but all of a sudden I started getting offered a lot more hours at work, which has helped out a lot. I've had the last couple days to just kind of weaned down. Well, and then looking to be quite frank, last night I fucking down a 6-pack before bed, but whatever. And I had no hangover this morning, so that was fine. And I just dealt with it and just went on through my day. And I made myself do other shit and not go get a beer. Like all the times I would have been like, okay, I'll get a beer and then I'll do the dishes. Instead, I woke up and I said, okay, I'm gonna jump rope and then I'm gonna do the dishes. So I did that when I woke up this morning, and so that's kind of how I've gotten through the day, I guess, sort of ish. Yeah, I mean, other than just all the other standard normal shit. Yeah, and I get a lot of encouragement from my coworkers. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Which is another reason I don't want to jump too quickly away from where I'm at, because I have something of a support group going on there. Except, of course, for this fucking cunt right here, this fucking cunt can go fuck himself. No. I just keep having to, yeah. I have to. No. I can't not do it. I mean, I've been a drunk asshole before, but I don't know, man. I guess it could have been a lot worse. Just one of those situations where you really, really want to throw hands on somebody and you can't. Fucking cunt. He was Irish too. Fucking Irish cunt. It's all a test, man. It's all a test. I don't normally post pictures of cunts on the internet telling you to fucking call them a cunt, but this might be a valuable lesson in someone's life. You never know. I'm sure people have done the same to me. The internet's a weird fucking place, man. It's a really strange, fucking, bizarre fucking place. God, why does everything do that on this table? Is it just me? I know y'all can hear that just great in that fucking microphone down there. Okay, I better space this out because this is all the weed I've got. I'll take one more hit and then we'll... Not getting high enough, man. I'm gonna hold it in. So this is my exception, right? Drying out off alcohol, whereas weed is the great regulator. And these fucking things. Let's see. Bought these this morning. I bummed out 2, and I have 6 left, 7 including this one. So that's, help me do math. Wait, 7, 8, 9. Smoked 11 cigarettes so far. Over half a pack. Okay. Well, it's a trade-off. 12. And on top of it, not only have I been smoking cigarettes, but I have been hitting that vape pen a little bit in between. But I only take usually about one or 2 puffs off of it, every once in a while. So, did you? I don't know if I should put that up on screen. Well, you put it in there, so. Fortune off of getting people hooked on prescription drugs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but I get it. I never sold drugs. That was always one line I would cross just because I didn't want to get caught doing it. But um, mainly, yeah. I thought about it. I did think about it. I tried to sell weed, but I just wasn't successful at it. It's not a solicitor like that. Oh shit. That's classic. Bryce, you're in prison. Became a long-time opiate addict. Um, yeah, let's read this out. I was in prison. LOL, a long-time opiate addict. Fucking high as fuck IQ. Started college at 50 and had so much promise that mental health issues led to prescription drug abuse. Such a fuck up. Yeah, I feel like that. Except I didn't go to college. I dropped out of high school. But I wasn't really having like major drug issues yet. But I definitely feel like that was a turn for the worse. Because then, after I dropped out of high school, then I started hanging out with adults, and then I started getting into drugs. And I was mostly into like coke, and I did meth a little bit. Um, you know, when I was like 17, 16, 17. Yeah, I think it was 17 when I first tried it. I went on a little bit of a run for a few months. Ended up, more or less out on the street. So we had a studio apartment, and my mom basically just left me there, let me ride out the eviction, and me and my friends trashed the place. And so when she got her new place, I wasn't able to go there at the time, and so I spent a couple months just kind of uh, running around the streets and hopping hotels and shit. And then just before I turned 18, I cleaned it up after a couple of months of that, and ended up going back home. And then I met my daughter's mom, and I just turned 18. We moved out together, and the rest is history. No, no, the rest is not fucking history. Like off and on with the meth, like any other drugs I used, like basically coke, mushrooms. Yeah, I stopped taking pills when I was like 15, so I stopped taking pills entirely. So yeah, didn't do that. But yeah, the meth was an issue off and on. I just do coke and mushrooms casually, and yeah, I don't think I did anything else at that time. I didn't even try. I tried acid and DMT like in the last year or two. It was the first time I've tried those drugs. Actually, no, I tried DMT once, like back when I was like 25, 26, but it was like bunk DMT, and I didn't get anything off of it. So yeah, in my mid 20s is when I got back into meth really bad. That was friggin' rolling around in fucking Walmart parking lots in a spray painted car, and fucking epic days. Epic fucking days, man. I cannot believe we never got busted for all that shit. It's crazy. And I think of all the money we could have made because we were getting hooked up. We were just using all the time. It was like, fuck, dude. Like, we could have fucking actually sold some of that shit ourselves. We probably would have had bank, but nope. Instead, we were slumming it. We were high as fuck all the time. Got all this new shit for addiction and mental health issues. If I could just get hooked up, microdosing, shrooms, ketamine, legal. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, probiotics, even ecstasy. Yeah, I've heard MDMA was coming back. Yeah. Fifth generation drug dealer. Did you go the Walter White route? No. Oh wait, that's not a good one. We can't do that. Well, at least he made good shit, right? I mean, what was it? Chili powder? Chili powder? We remember that shit. You need to get the DVDs of that or something. I haven't watched that shit in so long, but I still only have the free TV. When we were younger, that's what we dreamed about. Me and my bro, before he passed, we wanted to obtain we imagine actually having an island. And I was like, well, can you actually get an island? And we're like, well, fuck it. If you get rich enough, you can. So let's just imagine we have like a fucking island. And it's just us, our family, and our friends, some hot chicks. We're going to score some hot chicks. We're like, just going to build like, a few little houses on this island and just grow weed and tobacco, brew our own beer, and, our own hops. Fucking, yeah, it's going to be great, man. Live off the land, with all the guns we want. None of that ever happened, but I did grow weed a couple times, but it was not good weed. Green thumb, I am not. Makeshift ashtray. All my adult friends growing up never fit in with people my own age. And then my college friends, peers are all together, high functioning people, so I have no excuse. Didn't even try pot until I was 22. Wow. I started smoking weed when I was 12. I started smoking cigarettes when I was the same age roughly. I had my first cigarette when I was 11, but I didn't really start smoking until like the next year. Then I got into weed fully. But I could hardly ever score weed, so like I ended up actually like smoking oregano because I heard somewhere that you could smoke oregano, and it was like it wasn't that bad, but it didn't. I think I was probably imagining that I was high. Plus, I was watching Cheech and Chong all the fucking time, like every night. I'd watch Up and Smoke or Nice Dreams. Yeah. Yeah, but the same like as far as like I always had older friends. Like middle school, I would hang out with high schoolers. In high school, I ended up just hanging out with adults, and then as an adult, like most of my friends are like at least 10 years older than me. But I don't see it as an excuse just because you get it young. Like, I mean, I think in my case, it's a little exceptional because I had taken so many prescription psychotropic drugs, like before I had even hit puberty. So I think it actually like fucked my hormones up and shit. But that's just my theory. They say my shit's fine when they test all my levels. So, but I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me. You went into pharmaceuticals with your dad. You actually design the drugs, or is this just like the what do you call it, the corporate level? Fifth generation South Carolinian. We have Buku Islands off the coast here. Yeah, I mean that's not off the table. I think buy one of those islands, but then like you're like okay, but who governs you, or do you get to like be your own government? Like you have to obey the Fed, man. I feel like if you have an island, you should be like have the right to have your own like national defense, like you're part of the national defense, right? To be like, this is my island, I'm gonna defend it whatever I want. I don't know. Kind of like being on a boat. I guess it depends on how far out your island is. Don't even smoke. It's the anxiety and depression and mental health issues that fuck me up. Seems you have depression too. Yeah, I have. I think I've had depression since I was a kid. It's always been an issue for me. I was pretty emotional as a kid, but also just had like kind of that not very stable upbringing. So yeah, I don't know how much it's that and how much of it's like chemistry. I think they just gave me drugs way too young. They gave me drugs when I was in first grade the first time they put me on Ritalin, and then they just kept giving me different drugs after that. And then it was just more and more. I was taking cocktail. It's just like they fucking overdosed me on an adult dose of lithium. Fucking almost killed me one time when I was like 9, 10. It's fucking wacky. My buddy's band from South Carolina, Band of Horses, has a great song, Islands on the Coast. I'm going to screenshot that so I remember to search it, because otherwise, my memory. Yeah, whatever we did, it's over now. I like telling these wacky stories. Love my own island. Chickens, goats. Yeah, you gotta have livestock too. Some I've always been like big into the vegetarianism though, like having a big garden, maybe a few livestock, eat the meat sparingly, if you have to. Maybe don't eat the meat. Maybe just drink the milk and churn the butter and cheese and whatnot. Seasteading. So that was my other option. I've wanted to do like around here. Lots of people do it. You get a houseboat or even just like a boat with a cabin, and then you just kind of friggin' live on that. But most people will get like a spot in a marina or something like that. You're not really supposed to, I don't know, moor off the coast or whatever in small vessels. They kind of frown upon that. But I don't know. I figure you probably get by. How do they really police that? Like, you just have like sheriffs out there in boats, like checking in on people who are anchored out. Or how do you say that? Yeah. Uh, Damn you, Sterling. Hey, Jenna. Good to see you. Good to see you. Much love. Yeah, we're just telling our crazy, wacky stories over here while I'm trying to dry out, so I'm not drinking for 24 hours. Well, at least 24 hours. Well, more than 24 hours, because in the morning it'll be 24 hours, but then I tend to stay sober through Mother's Day with my mom. So, yeah, at least that far. And see how far it goes. But thank you for coming. Good to see you. But an oil platform, declare yourself an independent nation like those guys up near the UK did. They will leave you alone until they decide not to. Right. Yeah. Yeah, until you have a disagreement over taxes or, again, like what kind of armament you should have or something. Because I'm not all crazy on the Second Amendment shit. I don't think most people need to have. But I'm like, if you are on a fucking coastal island, you're gonna need some shit. Like, you should have some shit there, like to defend your shit with, for a number of reasons. Like not just like invasion, but like actual pirates and shit. Like you see that? Like, I don't know. It's possible. Anything's possible. Yeah. Look at Epstein. It's amazing. uh, Holy shit! Is it 12:30? It's 12:30. Time to have another drink of Cactus Cooler. Cheers. How many cigarettes have I smoked since I've been on stream? 2? Yeah, it was 2, huh? Yeah. 2 in an hour. Yeah. Damn it. You know what to do. Just keep drinking fluids, spewing out of the mouth. No idea what I'm talking about. What's up, Doc? Doc Fearsome. Good to see you and to be seen. So yeah, I was saying earlier, like I don't know when you're actually supposed to consider yourself like starting to be sober, because like well, technically I like stopped drinking at like 10, 11 p.m. last night. So I start from there, like the time I went to sleep, or the time I woke up, which is approximately 8 o'clock or something. So I just went from there, and so now it's been an hour. When we started, it was 15 and a half hours, and now it's 16 and a half hours. Yeah, 16 and a half hours. Yeah. And then in the morning, I will get my 24-hour chip, and I will be very happy with myself. Do I have any literature? Got bread. I don't remember if I had any more. I already read that fucking Ray Comfort thing. Damn bag. Really gotta fix this fucking bag. Looking for something down here. Watch Kevin dig through his bag. Toothbrush. Very careful with the toothbrush. Okay. Read all my notes. Yeah, those are related. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, okay. This is never tell if I'm pronouncing his name right. Baudelaire. It's French. It's French. Baudelaire. Baudelaire. Unhappy, perhaps, is it's called the desire to paint. Unhappy, perhaps, is man, but happy the artist torn by desire. I am consumed by a desire to paint the woman who appeared to me so rarely, and who so quickly fled, like a beautiful, regretted thing the voyager leaves behind as he is carried away into the night. How long it is now since she disappeared! She is beautiful, more than beautiful, she is surprising. Darkness in her abounds, and all that she inspires is nocturnal and profound. Her eyes are two caverns where mystery dimly glistens, and like a lightning flash her glance illuminates. It is an explosion in the dark. I have compared her to a black sun, if one can imagine a black star pouring out light and happiness, but she makes one think rather of the moon, which has surely marked her with its portentous influence, not the white moon of Idols, which resembles a frigid bride, but the sinister and intoxicating moon that hangs deep in a stormy night, hurtled by the driven clouds, not the discreet and peaceful moon that visits pure men while they sleep, but the moon torn from the sky, the conquered and indignant moon that the Thessalian witches cruelly compelled to dance on the frightened grass. That little forehead is inhabited by a tenacious will and desire for prey. Yet in the lower part of this disturbing countenance, with sensitive nostrils quivering for the unknown and the impossible bursts, with inexpressible loveliness, a wide mouth, red and white and alluring, that makes one dream of the miracle of a superb flower blooming on a volcanic soil. There are women who inspire you with the desire to conquer them and to take your pleasure of them, but this one fills you only with the desire to die slowly beneath her gaze. Save that one. Well, what's this? Oh, are we still talking about that Epstein guy, or who has no? I have kids, so. But yeah, that's the idea was to like have the kids on the island and stuff. But yeah, exactly. Anyway, I digress. We had some strange ideas. No, that wasn't Ray Comfort. No. Is it that far behind? I was talking about Ray Comfort earlier. No, that was the French guy, the French Baudelaire. But I think I'm supposed to pronounce it differently than that. I'm not really in the mood for a snack. I just keep looking at things to put in my mouth. I have this. Just a rolled up tube of paper, but whatever. I used to do that when I was a kid. I would like pretend I was smoking like an actor. I had those fucking things. Used to like snap them together. It was like a nerd thing. Like then you make different. I don't even know how to describe it now. Were they called connects? I feel like they were called connects or something. And they had like little sticks, and then you'd have all the little connector pieces that configure different. I don't even know how to describe it, and I can't share it or look it up. So I'm like, nah. I think they were called connects, and yeah, it's like a geometry thing or something like that. New comments. I'm trying to yeah, well, I gotta sober up for work. I gotta sober up in general. Like right now, I'm sobering up. I'm saying I'm doing it for my mom. So I don't know. It's an arbitrary date. It's the 14th. It's 3 months from the day that that other day. Because it was like on Valentine's Day. It was like I'm gonna start doing self love, and I was like quitting smoking, and I did for a while, and but then I was still drinking, and then I was having issues at work, and I was having anxiety from and stuff, and but yeah, no, so I'm just trying to like maintain more of a balance so that I'm not drinking as much as I have been. I'm not like full blown alcoholic, but it's like, yeah, you probably like not drink every day. That would probably be a start to, yeah. Like, okay, well, if I could put like a full, 40 hours or something in between me and alcohol, or however long, put some arbitrary number there. And you're kind of lucky that you can't drink anymore. Alcohol makes you really sick. Otherwise, you'd be an alcoholic. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I envy people like that, I guess. Like, I used to be that way. Like, I used to get, I'd have like 2 beers and I'd have like enough of a buzz that I would like. That's kind of what I do now, but it's like now it's almost like I need 2 beers to have a buzz enough to go to sleep or something. Like, I don't feel like I'm ready for bed until I was like, where's the beer? Where's the beer? I need a couple of beers, then I can go lay down. But then it's like that, like, and I'm like, okay, well now I need a beer before I do my laundry. Now I need a beer before I play guitar. Yeah. It's, okay, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't need that. Something you should be like choosing to do when you choose to do it, not like, oh, I need to do that before everything, because that's pretty much alcoholism. I'm just saying, yeah, it is. But yeah, I'm not like, why don't we go get a fucking case of beer tonight? Rah, rah, rah. Because yeah, I'd be fucking puking my guts out more often than not. I don't really though. I don't. I used to. I used to drink till I puke, but my body usually just shuts down before I get to that stage, and I'll just pass out. Like, and so to the point where, yeah, I pass out wherever I am in pretty bad situations. Like that's how I ended up in jail, because I ended up like passing out in my car in the middle of the afternoon. Like luckily I was in a parking lot and the keys weren't in the ignition or anything, so I didn't get all that. But the cops were like, "Yeah, you got a fucking open container right there, buddy. You're in your car in a parking lot. Pass the fuck out." Like, that's alcoholism. Yeah. See, connects. All right. I'm glad somebody got that, because I was like, hoping I got the right name. I'm pretty sure that was the product. I think it was spelled like KNEX or something like that, though. Yeah, it was really, really like, and I was into Legos and shit like that too. I don't know. So it was kind of a more of a pop phenomenon, but it is, its core, it's like basic nerd shit. It is. It's engineering. Is that what that is? Okay. Got the cactus cooler down. 7, 12:43. Numbers. Okay, I keep thinking about it, so I just go grab the guitar. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know. I don't know what I'm playing. No idea. Doc says alcohol has always made you a little sick, at least sometimes worse than others. With a six-pack? A six-pack of what? With a six-pack. Yeah, I've got a guitar and I don't know what to play. And my mind's all over the place. Go, Gadget, go! And see, now I don't really want a vegetable juice. Brain. $12:47 in the AM here in California. It is wait, what day is it now? It's Mother's Day. May 14th. Yeah, that one. That's the day, May 14th. And we're sober for closer to. Are we closer to 17 hours or still? Let's see time. So we started 8, 12, 10, 12, 16, and 48. So we're closer to, closer to 1. So that means we're closer to, wait, where were we? 19. Right, 19 hours. Okay. 19,000. Make it up. Make it up as you go along. Pretend you know what you're doing. When I could drink, it was always drink until I dropped. I have an addictive personality, but I prefer opiates. I wrecked 3 cars passing out while high. Lucky I never killed anyone or got a DUI somehow. Damn, yes. I've never been, before, before, I'd say around the age 27. Age 27, I started, and I was, around the time when I started cleaning up off of meth. Slowly, like, when I was on meth, I was drinking too much because I was freaking high as fuck. So when I did drink, which wasn't a lot, but when I did drink, I would obviously drink too much then because I didn't know the difference because I was high as fuck on meth. But once I got clean off of it, I started doing the whole kind of 2 beer a day thing, which I had never really done before. And I was doing day labor, and I was just so freaking physically tired after work, like, physically hurt after work every day. And I'd always be like, fuck, I'm so sore. And then I just started, every day, I would like, and then there's the sleeping thing too. And I was also living in an environment at the time where the person that I was living with was doing meth, but I just knew they were doing it, and and so they were in and out all kinds of weird hours, and I just had to deal with it because it was their house. I just had to fucking figure out a way to sleep through it. So I started getting drunk just to fucking soothe myself after work and go to sleep. And then it kind of started to become more of a habit. Like when I started doing guard, when I became a guard like full time, when I got into my full time position at the medical office, like I was doing really good as far as during the day and all of that, but I was really unhappy with my living situation. I was making significantly more money than I had been, but it seemed like all these fucking situations kept coming up and people kept taking more and more of it, which is kind of what's happening to me now. And so I'd be like, well, fuck it. I've only got like a little bit left, 'cause I'm stuck in the fucking payday loan cycle. And all these people are taking my fucking money. And so I just started fucking drinking it away. And I was pissed off. I was living in a garage. Um, my my buddy who passed away last year and his wife, um, and she hated me. She didn't want me there because I had legitimately I disobeyed the rules of their house when they let me stay there the first time. So before I got clean. So after I got clean, it was like, okay, well now you've got to go stay out in the garage because you fucked up staying in the house. So I was like, fuck, okay. And so I was doing that. But I was starting to develop a better routine. I was working out every day. I was walking around and talking to people every day like I am now. and and but yeah, I was still like coming home every night and fucking drinking myself to sleep, and I was able to like, get like a six pack or, a good bottle of whiskey or something. And I tried to quit smoking for a while back then using the same medication, and which I didn't have the whole nervous breakdown result. Like it was quite a bit different, but I did have trouble sleeping, so I started drinking more on that medication again, which is like, okay. They're like, when I asked my doctor about it, they were like, "Well, you just shouldn't drink no more than you normally do." And I was like, "Should I drink as much as I normally do?" And they're like, "I don't know." Should you? And I was like, "Okay," but we had already kind of discussed the issues, so it was like wasn't really that shocking. But just the way the conversation went down, I was like, "Okay." Um, but when I was doing that, I was doing like the whiskey and cigars thing, and so that was my way of like doing the end of the night, and I just get used to it. And I've always been, since I was a kid, there's always been like, oh, here's your morning dose, here's your evening dose. So that was the thing with like being put on medication so young. I'm so used to that. It's really weird for me not having something there that fills that fucking type of, I don't know, mental programming. Doc Fearsome was responding to Bryce Birch responding to Doc Fearsome there. What's up? The deal for real. The deal for real. I learned place so I can get some chicks. Yeah. That I don't know that. Well, it worked for me a couple times, but usually not when I was trying. Uh, um, no, what? It turns out that the more artistic you are, the harder it is to get chicks. I mean, I guess money helps. Like when you're successful and you make money, that helps too. But I've never been willing to sell out, so I guess that's why. It's like, fuck that shit, man. Digestive issues. Sorry to hear that, Doc. Um, I think I have some of those myself. I just drink through it. Yeah, I think I need to get one of those, backdoor checks, which I'm terribly avoiding. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so horrible. Get your backdoor checked by a doctor. People who like to drink must experience it differently. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there's certain people, I guess they say like born with that chemistry, which I think is bullshit. I think you can't have a predisposition to it, but it's like it's like with any addiction, like the set of circumstances that lead you into that, right? Like whether you get into it young or you get into it because like a failed you're having like other difficulties in your life, like this is going to be your way to cope with it, right? um, but each person has their own type of poison, if you will, or whatever, their own drug preference or a preference for alcohol over other drugs, or some people like me really like mix and match. You know what I mean? Like, so it just depends on you, really. Um, and I think it probably depends on what you start out with to a certain extent. Um, I know they call weed the gateway drug, um, but and a lot of people do use weed first, but I tend to notice that no matter what drugs they use, like all those people tend to still use weed, even if they go out and do different drugs. And they're like, oh, my thing's this and your thing's that. We get to do different drugs, but we both smoke weed. Usually that's the way that works out. So I don't think there's like, a mistake behind that. It's not like you drift off into other drugs and you just stop smoking weed. That's a bit rarer. Oh, but opiates make my brother and my dad feel sick, and they don't get the reason why I like them so much. Yes. Pop culture curator. Hail. Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you. Who are we hailing today? Are we going to hail Satan? Are we going to hail a cab? Is it going to hail? Should I have a raincoat? Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty against the pills I was taking, Bryce, but uh, it it was a situation where the schools, my mom was young and she was single, and she didn't really have anybody to help her out at the time, and we were going through some rough stuff at home, and so the schools gave her an ultimatum because I was having behavioral issues, which I argue was actually, just there was one particularly bad teacher that I still feel that I said at the time that she should have been retired, and I think she did in fact retire that at the end of that year. It's like you need to be retired, and I legitimately think she should have retired before that. But whatever, okay. Like she fucking slapped my hand with a ruler one time because I was drumming my fingers on the desk because she was boring as fuck. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? What century do we live in? She must have been a Catholic school teacher or something. She was horrible. They're like, this is the first grade, man. We're all full of energy. But no, I was exceptionally energetic, I guess. And she did not like that. Remember one time I freaking popped out of my chair right mid class and I just flopped around the floor pretending I was having a seizure. And my classmates thought it was funny. She did not. uh, the antics, the antics. But I was so past first grade. I was like, yeah. I fucking learned all this shit like when I was 2. I learned how to read when I was 2, motherfucker. See, so my mom wasn't such a bad mom. She just, had her share of hard times and stuff. I don't know what that was either. Well, I don't do weird shit like that. I don't know. I'm doing weird shit like that. Yeah, potheads love pot. I've never gotten that one. It makes people paranoid. The only times it makes me paranoid is like if I do too much edibles or like some really good hash or something. And sometimes like if I'm trying to lay down, like meditate or go to sleep, I'll like feel like I'm afraid if I fall asleep, I'm gonna like stop breathing, and then I start get like a weird panic attack that keeps me awake. But that's pretty rare. I have to be like pretty really fucking high for that. Relearning techniques I haven't used in a very long time, or at least it feels like it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Something like that. Oh, speaking of weed, smoke some more weed. All right, little corner hit. Well, take a hit and pray for me. Pray for me. Mama wants to pray for me. Should have had a V8. All right, no, I'm gonna drink the water. Save the V8 for the morning. Ah. Untitled number 5. Actually, I think that was like loosely an amalgamation of like 3 different songs, but who could tell anymore? Really dig those notebooks out. They're actually in here. And not tonight. Hour and a half streaming, and y'all have been amazing and wonderful and generous with your time and support, and I appreciate you. And time is 1:06 in the AM, and probably honestly gonna like watch some YouTube videos, lay on the mattress and roll around, and yeah, I think I do sleep a little bit on these nights, but it's like one of those nights where I can't like remember sleeping. Like it doesn't seem like I slept. I probably not got a dream, and yeah, be pretty restless. That's usually how this goes. So, find something relaxing. Maybe one of those meditation videos or something. I listen to some of those sometimes. Some ASMR or something. Some of those kind of give me the heebie-jeebies. So I don't know. And then the ones that are, obviously too sensual, just keep me turned on. So maybe it's not a bad thing. I should be thinking about sex more. Yes, that's what I should. Oh, I've been trying to turn that off. Turn that off. I don't know. What do we do, Brand? Can we logic this one out? How often should we be thinking about sex? How often ought to I think about sex? Oh, wow. There's comments. Doc says weed is still not legal where I live, only medical, and even that has lots of restrictions. I think that is shitty. Shitty McShit shits. Bryce. Yeah, I had kind of the opposite experience. First grade was really hard. I also had to change schools, like so that made it even harder. The first grade, yeah. Then second grade was pretty decent. I had a good teacher there. Third and fourth grade was amazing. I had the best teacher. And then fifth grade, I moved again and went to a different district. And from there on out, my teachers were a mixed bag. And middle school was pretty. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, a really good teacher in the sixth grade, and then seventh and eighth grade, seventh grade, I went to another school. The teachers there were horrible, but everybody there was horrible. It was like, yeah, special kid classes, yeah, and it was fucked up. Those people were just awful. And then, damn it, yeah, that'll help. Um, and then I went into a charter school. The teachers there were okay, but yeah, that was kind of a free spirited place, so the kids kind of ran it a little bit, and then ended up in high school going back to regular high school, and yeah, really mixed bag there. Had a couple of good ones. I had a really bad one. My history teacher and what's the one after sophomore year? Yeah, sophomore year. My history teacher was like a radical feminist, and she was a total bitch. She was horrible to all the males in the class. She was just fucking nuts. I don't know how that bitch was a teacher. Arizona and Iowa. All right, all right. Yeah, I hear all the crazies live in Iowa. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm sure Iowans say all the crazies live in California. I don't know the way that works. All right, 111, even numbers. 134, 37, 30. Oh, this is me Now I lay me down to sleep. No, no. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. I might just keep going and going. The Energizer Bunny. I gotta wake up and try to clean some shit up and do something special for my mom's for Mom's Day. pull a trick right out of my ear. Much love, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna put this thing down. See you next time, whenever that is.